platform. Supporting the Commissioner today, we have to his right DCP Fitz-Bailey, and to his right ACP MacArthur Sutherland. DCP Bailey is the head of the Crime and Security Portfolio. ACP Sutherland is the Inspector General of IProbe. To the Commissioner's left, we have the head of the Operations Portfolio, DCP Clifford Blake. And to his left, we have the head of the Administration Portfolio, Mr. Richard Stewart. So at this time, to give you this, or today's update, we have Police Commissioner, Major General Anthony Anderson.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Let me take this opportunity to extend best wishes to my members and all Jamaicans at a time in our history when we pause to recognize emancipation and our independence as a nation. Just yesterday, many of us participated in the activities that are a feature of our Jamaica 60th celebrations. From our perspective, there is a renewed energy and commitment among our people to get involved and become part of the solution to the violence that has permeated our society for decades. I want to thank our members who have been extending themselves to manage the added demands of the major events of the last few weeks, which will continue throughout the Independence weekend. We are also mindful of the commercial activities that precede the reopening of schools in early September, and then the traffic management associated with this period. We will be deploying resources accordingly. Also, our school resource officers are being prepared to assist the schools with the challenges of the new school year. Before I go into the other matters in this press conference, I just want to address the investigations surrounding Donaldson, who was reported missing on July the 13th. We have spent the last 20 days probing and following where the evidence has led. We are mindful of the sensitivities of this particular case, as the person at the center of the investigation is a police officer. As such, the investigative team has received the highest level of oversight from the Deputy Commissioner in charge of our Crime and Security Portfolio and senior detectives assigned to the CIB headquarters. The investigation is also benefiting from the input of other agencies, including INDECOM, the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Relatives of Donnelly and members of the public can be assured that we've approached the investigation in a very deliberate and systematic way. We have spared no effort in our investigations as we utilize modern technology, forensic science, and solid traditional detective work to progress the case. At this time, I will invite DCP Bailey to briefly outline the process and timelines that have led us to this point in the investigation. DCP Bailey.
Thank you, Commissioner. On July 13, when the report regarding the disappearance of Ms. Donaldson was received, a missing person investigation was immediately activated. Between July 13 and July 17, several interviews were conducted and statements recorded. Various pieces of evidence were collected and secured. Hospitals and several premises visited and checked by and the family updated on the efforts being made by the police. Constable Maitland's home was also visited and processed by our forensic teams. On July 18, a case review was conducted and a press briefing convened at the offices of the Commissioner of Police. Between July 18 and July 24, additional persons were interviewed and statements recorded. Other evidential materials were also secured and processed. On July 25, a divisional case review was held. On July 26, a third case review was conducted where members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the DPP and senior prosecutors from her office, as well as INDECOM were in attendance. On July 27, Constable Maitland was taken into police custody and a press statement issued. On July 29, he was taken before a court and remanded in custody. What I can report at this time is that Constable Maitland was this afternoon charged with the murder of his 23-year-old girlfriend, Donaldson. His formal charge comes after 20 days of diligent and comprehensive investigation by detectives in what began as a missing persons investigation, but given the evidence that was being collected, subsequently became a murder probe. Over to you, Commissioner.
Well, thank you, DCP Bailey. Unfortunately, this is another case where tragedy is associated with interpersonal issues. We'll continue to provide updates to Donna Lee's mother and the rest of the family as the case progresses. I believe it is also appropriate that I highlight the challenges we face when conducting an investigation in an atmosphere where fake news abounds. When I use the term, I'm not referring to news with inaccuracies. I'm referring to fabricated and misleading stories in relation to an investigation. Every time these fabrications are published, they not only divert the attention of the police, but they further traumatize the grieving family and loved ones and enrage the genuinely concerned. It begs the question, whose agenda does this serve? These fake news elements do not serve the interests of the family. They don't serve the interests of law enforcement, and they do not serve the interests of justice. When fake news muddies the water and causes people to lose faith in the integrity of the judicial process, it only benefits the guilty. Now on to some other matters at this press briefing. At our press briefing last month, I indicated that there should be a qualitative difference in the customer experience by the end of July as we roll out a new and improved system at our criminal records offices. I indicated that we are in the testing phase of a new online application system that is now operationalized. You can access this online system by visiting the resource section of our website at jcf.gov.jn. We have also established a police certificate collection center at the Police Officers Club located at 34 Hope Road. These two adjustments have improved our efficiency and reduced the crowding at the Duke Street offices. We're still refining the process and urge members of the public to continue to exercise patience as we make this transition. As far as the major crime outlook is concerned, as at the end of July, major crimes are equal to last year. Murder itself is up by 4% when compared to the corresponding period last year. Gang conflicts still account for 70% of these murders, and interpersonal conflicts account for about 14%, while 6% occurred in furtherance of other criminal acts. Mob killings for 1% and 9% are still under investigation. Over the last 6 weeks, there has been a series of interpersonal murders that have shocked the society. Apart from the one we mentioned above, we have also seen a number of gang conflicts that have resulted in multiple killings. Following the murder of 31-year-old Kamisha Wright and her 4 children who were buried on the weekend, we saw just days later, on July the 4th, where a man used a knife and murdered his bedridden wife, also in Clarendon. We saw in St. Anne a dispute between 2 persons at a restaurant, resulting in one person stabbing another to death. Also in St. Anne, 3 persons succumbed to wounds that were inflicted during what appears at this time to be a family dispute. Although suspects may be charged, families and communities are still left to grieve. So I'm asking that people report cases of disputes before they escalate into violence. Services, including our domestic violence intervention centers, are available to people, and I encourage persons to utilize these services. We're also seeing a number of cases where people are being killed and their bodies buried or disposed of, as was the case in Kingston Western, where the dismembered bodies of 4 persons were removed from shallow graves. These are just some of the cases that have influenced the 4% increase we are now seeing. And these are the matters that we will be dealing with over the next weeks and months. Shootings continue to show a downward trend with 8% fewer incidents this year than in 2021. Rape is down 16%, robbery is up 10.5%, and break-in is up 3%. The increase in robberies and break-in is of particular concern as life gets back to pre-COVID normalcy. As a response, we have made adjustment to personnel in various divisions. Additional mobility assets are being acquired and will be deployed over the next few weeks, and another team of quick response motorcyclists will be deployed by the end of August. And also, divisional commanders have been instructed to review their anti-robbery strategies in light of these changes. On the matter of illegal guns, as at the end of July, the Constabulary, along with our other law enforcement partners, seized 448 firearms. That's an increase of 4%. When we examine the weapons seized, while the number of revolvers has reduced, there has been a 60% increase in submachine gun seizures, a 59% increase in high-powered rifles, an 8% increase in shotguns, and a 4% increase in pistols. We also continue our pushback against criminal organizations, particularly in relation to their involvement in narco-trafficking and scamming activities. Gangsters continue to use drug running and scamming as a source of funding for the various criminal endeavors, as well as to live their lavish lifestyles. However, working in partnership with several other members of the local law enforcement community and our international partners, we continue to impact these activities. Just recently in July, multi-agency and simultaneous operations led by the JCF with support from the JDF, MOCA, the U.S. Marshals Service, and the DEA were conducted in St. Andrew and St. James, resulting in the capture of 2 persons for whom extradition warrants were executed. A police constable was also arrested and charged for illegal possession of ammunition in the same matter. There have been 9 extraditions since the start of this year, 8 to the United States and 1 to the United Kingdom, and 2 now are pending. Our efforts to arrest gunmen and gangsters and relieve them of their ill-gotten assets and disrupt the criminal organizations they seek to build continue in earnest. We will not let up, and we invite you to join us. During this emancipation and independence period, it has been evident to me that people really want to change. People want a better Jamaica. The recently launched STAR, the Social Transformation and Renewal Project, another partnership we established with the PSOJ, is one of the newest ways to get involved to build better communities and a more resilient people. People always ask how they can help. It can be really simple. You can help us by just cooperating with the police officers as they carry out their duties. You can help by simply doing the right thing and just obeying the rules and the law. We don't want to spend our effort policing persons who should know better. And we don't want to spend our time investigating matters designed to distract us from giving you the policing services you deserve. We can all do something. Let us do it together, and let us all be a force for good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you very much to you as well, DCP, for that presentation. I'm sure that we have questions at this time. Yes, we do have some questions. The journalists on the platform, you may use the raised hands feature, and we will take your questions in order. Let me first go to Roxroy McLean of the Gleaner, well, of the Star.
Good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Roxroy. Go ahead.
My question is for Mr. Bailey. I have 2 questions. The first one to Mr. Bailey. As the JCF located the partner, Donaldson, and what were the circumstances that leaded to this so?
I didn't get the last part of your question.
What were the circumstances of what? Okay. All right, we'll take the question first. The first question, sir.
We have not recovered the body of Ms. Donaldson, but we believe that she is dead based on our investigation and science.
Christopher Thomas of the Gleaner.
Yes, good afternoon. On Thursday, could you say an update as it relates to the Gabriel King murder case on January this year?
The matter is still under investigation. There's no new development since our last press briefing, but the matter continues to be investigated.
If your question has been responded to or if you've been acknowledged, you can remove the raised hands feature. Thank you very much. Kimon Francis, you're next.
Thank you. Afternoon. Can you provide any details regarding the detective constable in Hannibal who is on the investigation in connection with the disappearance of Adrian Donaldson, was evidence in a robbery case before the Hannibal Parish?
I can't recall that matter. Maybe do you have more particulars? Maybe Mr. Sutherland could in answer.
The information was brought to our attention and we would have initiated an investigation. So far we have visited the division and would have recorded statements and the matter is progressing. I think that's all that can be shared at this moment. As soon as the additional details can be released, this will be done. Thanks.
Anthony Henry of Loot News.
Good afternoon. I have two questions. One, would the Commissioner speak more to the pushback from the police on robbery, especially robbery committed by persons on motorbikes? The second question is for DCP Bailey. Do the police have any hope of recovering the body of Donaldson at this point?
Thank you, Anthony.
I had mentioned a couple of the things we're doing as a direct response to these robberies, particularly with motorcycles. And one of the key strategies around that is how we use our quick response motorcyclists to do it and where we locate them. But I'm going to allow Mr. Blake, DCP Blake, in charge of the strategic operations portfolio, to say something on it.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. As you indicated, we have deployed additional quick response teams, and we are in the process of expanding that capability, not only for the corporate area, but across the island. There's another component to it, which we hope the activation by the Commission of the new Road Traffic Act, that will also provide us with some legal capabilities where we'll be able to enforce the Road Traffic Act and to get some of these motorcyclists and those illegal motorcycles off the road. So it's a combination of activities that we currently have and are pursuing that we are confident that will lead to a reduction in these motorcycle robberies and that will provide for a safer environment on our roads.
All right, let me take this question that has been in the chat from Chevon Campbell of Nationwide News. What is the JCF's theory behind what happened to Miss Donaldson at this time?
What I can say is that based on our investigation, we believe that Ms. Donaldson was killed on Tuesday the 12th of July, anytime between 4 and 8 in the evening. And this is supported by, as I indicated before, forensics and technology. We have not yet determined the reason for her death, but what we can say that she was killed based on our investigation. I know someone that asked regarding the likelihood of us recovering her body. We continue to pursue our investigation, and we have done several operations, including going to the River City dump, where we did an extensive search, and we came up with nothing. So we'll continue as we get the lead. I can't come to a decision whether or not our body will be found. We hope that would be the end game, that our body is found, and so that the family can actually bring closure to an unfortunate situation.
Okay, thank you. Kimon Francis, you have another question?
Was the police simply transferred for facilitating and entertainment on Maitland at the Grandstand Police Station?
Could you ask that question again? It was unclear.
I'm asking if a police officer was recently transferred because he facilitated an unauthorized visit of an entertainer with Noel Maitland at the Grandstand Police Station.
If I may answer that one, Commissioner. Yes, we are aware of that incident, and it is under investigation. And I can say yes, at least one member was removed from the station pending the outcome of the investigation.
Thank you. Christopher Thomas.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon again. Dream weekend, which just went past this weekend, 2 persons were held in connection with the recovery of $2 million worth of cellular phones and other devices that were stolen during that event. What are the police's plans to prevent any future recurrence of that nature, especially since we have other emancipation activities coming up?
Well, like in any of these events, we deploy extensive resources to cover them, both overt and covert resources, and will provide that security. However, with things like cell phones, it's really important that people secure them, be aware of what is happening around them. These are massive crowds, and we only have so many assets that are used to police these crowds. Similar to anywhere else you go, in terms of major events, you have to really secure the phones and so on. But phones nowadays have all kinds of technologies associated with them that allow us to in some occasions, track and follow up on who may have taken them or where they may go or where they may be. So we'll continue to respond as as these issues, these cases come up. But it's really important that people also make sensible decisions about how they handle their personal items in large crowds, whether it's phones, their wallets, and so on, because you still have petty theft. But we will have officers deployed, and it's to bring it to their attention as soon as possible after an event has occurred. or if you've lost something or it's been stolen from you. So I mean, it's a good thing that these were recovered in this case, but we know that there are other cases when they are not. But the quicker that we can be told is the more effective we can be in a response. It's significant deployments over all of these things coming right up over this this period of the Grand Gala and so on. So we will be out there in force doing what we need to do to, as best as possible, secure these events. Largely they have been there haven't been a lot of incidents around these events so far. And there's, of course, people have been waiting to exhale, as DCP Blake had said earlier, and go out again. And really this is the largest, most recent opportunity, starting with Sumfest, for people to go out, or Carnival even, to go out and to have fun. So we'll be working and we'll be securing as best as possible. I don't know if Mr. Baker wants to say anything, or that's fine. Okay.
All right, we have a follow-up question from Siobhan Campbell. A follow-up: is it believed Mr. Maitland acted alone, or is it believed he had an accomplice or accomplices?
One needs to appreciate that the investigation is ongoing, and whilst we want to educate the public as best as we can, we have to be very cautious in what we reveal. We believe that he got assistance after the fact. That's as far as I will go on that. We believe that after Ms. Donaldson was killed, he got assistance in terms of the disposal of her body. I don't think I can take it any further based on how sensitive the investigation is.
Roxroy McLean.
Thank you, Dennis. Mr. Bailey, compared to other missing person report, what was different in this case that led the JSF to conclude further that is Donaldson? And when did the police determine that she was dead?
I think I indicated earlier on that we use science in this investigation, and I don't think I can go any further than that. I mean, the fact is that we have concluded based on science that it's her. And when did we conclude? I indicated that we believe that she was killed anywhere between 4 and 8 on the 12th of July.
I think that says enough on that question. I'm being asked by Raquel Porter of RJR, can you provide an update re the 3 police officers who were taken into custody in relation to that matter in St. Andrew North?
We got a ruling from the offices of the Director of Public Prosecution that both officers should be charged with murder and other offenses. And that is today. So the appropriate action will be taken. 2 of them are still in custody. The third one, as was indicated, fled the island. We were told that he would be returned by his counsel. We still await his return.
All right, thank you very much. If there are no further questions at this time, I am just taking a last look at what exists on the platform. There are no further questions at this time. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much to all of the persons, all of the journalists who've been on the platform. Thank you for the questions that you have asked. And thank you very much to the viewers who have tuned in to this press conference. We trust that it provided you a great deal of information necessary for you to write your stories for your various viewers, listeners, and readers. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in, and be safe.
It's Tuesday, August 2. In the headlines, emancipation celebrations. Jamaicans urged to remember the contributions of their ancestors.